Today, I'm talking about that time a creepy guy followed my ex around at the club and took pictures of him without consent. My ex couldn't get rid of him, so he had to ask a stranger for help. And that stranger was my date. What? Before I get to all the spicy details, let me give you some background. This ex I'm talking about is Jimmy, the 18-year-old Taiwanese Australian I was seeing for half a year. We weren't official, so he's technically more like an ex friends with benefits? Either way, this all happened several months after we split up. I had actually started talking to a Chinese guy I met at game night named Richard. Richard and I had immediate chemistry, and we started texting every day shortly after we met. We weren't dating, and we never showed romantic interest beyond texting, calling, and hanging out a few times. It seemed like we were interested in each other, but nobody really communicated the next step, so we just continued inviting each other to hangouts and took things slow. One weekend, some of Richard's online friends were visiting in town, so we took them out to the gay clubs. My friends and I also tagged along, so I was busy socializing the whole night. As I made my way from the bathroom back to Richard, I saw Jimmy. I hadn't seen him in months. I tried to be natural, said hi, and introduced him to Richard. Nobody batted an eye. And Jimmy had actually gone to the club by himself. He just finished final exams and wanted to let loose and dance. One of our friends, Brady, was also there to let loose and, well, had a bit too much to drink. He kept flopping around or sitting down in random places, so security kicked him out. We were a bit worried about Brady, so we helped him get outside to lean against a tree and sober up. We waited for our other friends to come out so we could get pizza together. However, Richard was nowhere to be seen. We texted him, called him, and shouted his name a few times. No response. So I went back inside to look for him. Eventually, I found Richard just as he was saying bye to Jimmy. I asked what happened. Apparently, a man had been following Jimmy around the club, trying to talk to him and buy him drinks. Jimmy was afraid of making the guy mad, so he didn't outright reject him. Soon, the man started taking photos of Jimmy, and he just felt stuck, unable to escape that uncomfortable and violating experience. As Richard was coincidentally passing by, Jimmy whispered to him in Chinese, "Save me!" Richard immediately realized what was happening and enthusiastically pretended they were good friends. Eventually, they escaped the guy, but not without trauma having already been dealt. That's, unfortunately, how these clubs are sometimes. People think they can just touch you and violate you without consequence. And I mean, they often do get away with it. I remember another time, as my friends and I walked across the dance floor, a random stranger groped my butt. I felt violated, but there were so many people and we just kept moving to get out of the crowd. Afterwards, one of us asked if everyone else got groped too, and we all said yes, except for Brady, who suddenly got offended and self-conscious that he didn't get groped. But yeah, I've been non-consensually groped more times than I should have, and by times I should have, I mean 0. Still, I've never been followed and randomly photographed before. Have you or someone you know been violated or stalked before? How was this situation handled? Let me know in the comments below, along with the kinds of videos you'd like to see in the future. And lastly, if you enjoyed the story, please hit the like, subscribe to my channel, and ring that bell so you don't miss other videos. Have a great day!